Hello friends, it has been a while since I have been on any kind of social media. I've never really even utilized YouTube, so this is new for me, but prior to that I've consistently been on Instagram for years, sharing my life and hopefully encouragement to other moms and ladies out there. So with that said, it's been 4 months since I've been posting, and I took a really abrupt break back in April. Honestly, at the time, I felt like there was so many changes and things going on that it didn't feel like it needed to be a priority. So the first big thing that happened is I ended up taking a pregnancy test, which is crazy to me still. And I found out in March that Tanner and I are expecting baby number 5, which if you've been around for any amount of time beyond 2 years, you will know that I have been very vocal about Kinsley being like the baby of the family, our last kid. So believe me when I say this was such a shock. And we are truly so excited. Like, do not get me wrong. We believe every baby's a blessing, and we are over the moon to be welcoming another child into our family this November. But I don't have the easiest pregnancies, and I was really sick this time around. I had planned, or Tana and I had planned to be done having kids before we moved from California to Tennessee. I think just because of the strong support system that we had back at home. I have all of my family there, my closest friends, and so it seemed like that would be the wise way to proceed, would be to finish having kids and then move. So it just added a lot of stress for me. I love to have things planned out, and I think planning is incredible, and there's a lot of wisdom that comes from planning your days and trying to make the best use of your time. But the flip side is that there's things that are going to happen in life that we didn't see coming, that maybe we didn't plan for. And I have really needed to grow in that area of how I respond. And so I was just very overwhelmed because I had a doctor back at home that I just loved. I mean, I couldn't have prayed for a better doctor. So I was honestly devastated just knowing I wouldn't have her this time to deliver our baby. And on top of it, just a lot of things felt new here still. I had to find a new doctor and kind of figure out, like, do I like this hospital? Am I comfortable to give birth here? And I think there's a lot of comfort when you trust your doctor. And I think that the doctor that I found right now is great. But it's hard to not have that history anymore. Like, the doctor I had before was for years and years and years. So it just felt like I knew her and she knew me, and she understood like common concerns I had and even fears of just surgery, because this will be my 3rd C-section. So she just was a comfort to me, as well as just an exceptional doctor. So that was hard on me to sort out those details. So that was a big thing. Yeah, so finding out was crazy because, just to give a little backstory, I did not see it coming. I know I already said that. And when I asked Tanner to pick up the test back in March, I was having him do it more so as like a clarification that I wasn't, more than I was even thinking I could be, if that makes sense. So I took the test by myself. The kids were sleeping. It was late at night. And I was like, I just need to take it so I can know, like, I'm just, thinking something that's totally unrealistic for us. Like, we can't be having 5 kids. That's crazy. And sure enough, I took the test, and within seconds, like, there was no hesitation. It was just like 2 lines. And I was like, I've never had a reaction like that, because we've always planned, and that's just how I've done things my whole life, is if I can plan, that's better. And so I was just like, what? No, there's no way, no. And so then I took another one, And same thing, 2 lines immediately. And I just started pacing our house. We had just moved a couple months before. We were in the middle of renovating a fixer-upper. There was a lot going on with that. It was the dead of winter, really. It was a very cold March. I'm not sure if that's normal in Tennessee, but to me it was freezing still. I was just so shocked. And so I told Tanner, and immediately he was so excited and just hugged me and said, like, this baby's a blessing. Like, children are a blessing from the Lord, and we're so fortunate. And I was just crying, not because I was disappointed. I was crying because I have spent so much of my life being the one to surprise my friends or my family and being on that end of things. And so very seldom am I on the receiving end of a surprise. And I guess my reaction is just to cry because that's all I did that night. I immediately was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a doctor, I don't have this. And, you know, Tanner had to help calm me down and just encourage me that, you know, the Lord's with us and he's going to help us sort out every detail. He knew far in advance that this baby was coming, that our family wasn't complete despite the fact that I thought it was, and that it was going to be such a special time for us. And that was what I needed to hear, because I just was worried and overwhelmed immediately. And I was so thankful just for his sweet response and just the immediate joy that he had, because I needed that in that moment and just throughout this pregnancy of just struggling with anxiety. I don't know what it is about surgery that just makes me anxious, but it's a really common struggle for me, and I'm working on it. I'm praying through it and trying to be more at peace and not let my mind run wild with what ifs, because that's not reality. So all that to say, it was an insane surprise. And I'm currently 25 weeks pregnant. I might be 26 by the time this is posted, we'll see. But yes, we do know what we're having. So I'm gonna wait to share that for another video. But we're really excited. And it's the most unexpected thing that could have happened in 2022. But I told my mom when I called her on the phone, when I found out, the phrase that popped in my head immediately was, my heart didn't know how much I needed you. And I think that's how I feel when I think about this baby. Is I don't even believe I can comprehend yet how much this child was meant to be in our family, how much our family was not complete without this baby. And it's going to be such a joy to watch this child interact with the kids we do have, and with me and with Tanner. So we're so thankful. And that's like my big announcement. So with social media, let's talk about that for a sec. I do think I will be on it more now. I feel like I can't give any kind of expectation yet, only because it's very hit and miss for me, and I'm still praying through how I want to be involved in social media and how that looks. And so I don't want to say, you know, I'll be doing videos X amount of time, or I'll be on Instagram this often, if I don't feel confident yet. I just don't feel like that's the right thing for me to say if I don't stand behind it wholeheartedly. But I would like to use YouTube more, and the reason is because on Instagram, I love it. I think that there's so many encouraging women out there that have strengthened my walk just by their words of wisdom, and I'm grateful for those accounts that spend time from their day being willing to pour into people that they haven't even met personally. I think that's a beautiful thing, and it's an admirable thing, and I'm thankful that there's people who do that. For myself, I felt kind of bound to the length of captions at times. I would love to be able to talk more in depth about things, especially certain topics, and so I think YouTube provides a unique platform that allows me to elaborate more on things or share more of my heart, and maybe even more in a real way. I think one of the hardest parts of being on social media for me was that we all talk about how it's a highlight reel and that we don't believe it's real life for anybody, but yet we fall so accustomed to comparing ourselves, and a lot of us will leave the app feeling less than or not good enough. And I think my fear with social media is I never wanted to be the person that caused someone else to feel that way, and I wanted to be a place where you could come and you could leave feeling encouraged. And some of the messages I would get, I didn't get any new messages for a while, to be honest, which is so great. I know that that's not something that is long term when you have a public platform, but I appreciated that I didn't have to deal with that too much for the last year or so. But what I did experience is moms who would occasionally message me and compare themselves to me as far as how joyful I am compared to how they feel, or how organized, just whatever the quality was. It was this comparison of how they perceived me to be all the time, and they would measure it against how they were at that time. And it broke my heart, because I'm not perfect, and I don't try to put myself on display in that way, because I know that I wake up every day in need of Jesus and His grace and His strength, and none of it is my own doing. Any of the good that comes from me is only because of my heart relying on the Lord, and I know that, and I want anyone who's watching me from a platform to see that first and foremost. And so that was hard for me, because I'm not going to share tons of details if it's been this really rough day with the kids, or a difficult day with Tanner. I think that I reserve those type of conversations that are more maybe a little more raw. I have just a few people that I do talk to about that aspect of my life, and I'm content with that. And it doesn't mean that I don't want anyone to think that I don't ever have an issue in parenting or a struggle in my marriage. None of those things are perfect for me, and I don't think they ever will be, of course not. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to go share all the things that go wrong and all the things that go right, if that makes sense. So I want to say that was something I was kind of battling with, of trying to figure out how to navigate. And so now here I am on YouTube, where I can be more in depth with you guys and share my heart more. And it doesn't mean I'm going to share stories of, maybe something crazy what my kids did, but I can elaborate more, and you can hear from me more often how much I know that I'm not perfect, how much I know that I struggle to find joy on some days. I struggle to be patient a lot of the time. I struggle to be intentional every single day. It's a battle. I wake up and it's a battle. I know that I'm only at my best when I'm seeking the Lord. And so I do try my best to wake up and open my Bible and position myself to be able to serve my family well. But I don't do it perfectly, but I do it under the grace of God. I hope that makes sense. So that's a little bit of a life update. I don't even know if this came out as this big ramble. We'll see. I'm learning, so if you can bear with me through the first few videos, I'd like to think I'm going to improve, so we'll see. But anyways, let's talk about a couple things you can expect. So I just want to share my heart more, first and foremost, and hopefully point you to the Lord. And I would love to share just the creative aspect of my life, home decor, crafting, holiday DIYs. I love that kind of stuff. So that's some things you can expect as well. And yeah, I feel like this is a good place to end this conversation, but I will show you a couple things going on in our dining room. This is the room we're working on right now. It's been It's been something else, you guys, because I bought a light. I'll show you in a second. I bought a light and then I changed my mind about it. So I'm going to be returning it. I got it from World Market. A lot of you will probably like it because it is trending as like a really cute style. It just wasn't, it didn't go with the rest of the house. I'll show you in a second. And then I got this table and it was just way too yellow toned, and I tried to love it. I actually butchered trying to fix the bench that came with it. I just ruined it. It said it was real wood. I questioned that because it didn't. I don't know. I've done a lot of projects in this house and none of them have been on the struggle bus the way that this bench was, to be able to strip it down and try to restain it. So I don't know. It was a little bit suspect for me. So all that to say though, I can't use either of these pieces because it's not anything that I love. I still have time to return them. I've had them for I think a few days. So my poor husband, he's been so nice about it because we had this light installed by a professional, and then now I have to have them come back and put a different light up, and then he put together this table, and I guess it was just a pain, and now I have to have him disassemble it and help me nail it back so that when my new one comes, it can go here. So, oh my goodness, I'll show you right now. So let me show you what I've been up to, and you can see how ridiculous it is that I changed my mind so much with this room. I have not done that in any other room except this one, and I pray that I don't do this again because I've honestly been bothering myself with my lack of confident decisions in this room. All right, so here is the dining room. All of our rooms are very small. It's a very tiny house. It's a little under 1,100 square feet. I actually like it though. I feel like it's easy to take on projects and not be too overwhelmed. Here's the light fixture. I feel like this lighting is horrible. I apologize. It's a rainy day, so I feel like if I turn the light off, yeah, see, you can't see anything now. Okay, that's the light. Oh man, I feel like it needs to brighten. So it doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't go with the overall theme of the rest of our house. So, and see the table? I know Tanner's like, I don't get why it's a big deal. I have a hard time with yellow toned wood, and in the listing it looked much more beige, so I don't know. I mean, that's the hard part of ordering online. I thrifted this tray right here, and I'm really happy about it. It was $1. This was from Charleston, which was like my favorite antique find there. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They were 50% off this week. I actually found a vase that I love for it, but it wasn't on sale this week. So I'm gonna go back Monday and hopefully it's on sale so I can put those in there. And here's the chandelier that I found on Marketplace that's going up in a couple days. I put it here just for now so I could show you. It is amazing. I know it's not everyone's style, but this was an incredible find for me. I love this. I think it's gonna look beautiful here, and I think it'll match the antique theme that I have sprinkled throughout the home. I try to mix old and new, so I felt we needed more old in this space because it was a lot of just brand new renovations. We put the wallpaper up, which I love. We're still working on this wall, and we still have to put ground molding up there, and I have to fix this area. Outlet, obviously, we need to fix. But I just felt it needed a little bit more character. And so that's where I came up with that idea. But all that to say, those things are changing, and I'll show you when it's done. I'm gonna finish these chairs. I have to paint them, and my daughter, she put permanent marker on this, and that's the first time I've dealt with permanent marker in parenthood. So I guess that's a plus, right? I mean, I have 4 kids, and it's only just happened. Okay, so that's my little house update so far. I will keep you posted on how the dining room's going, and when the table comes, it still needs to come in the mail. It should be here in like a week, hopefully. So we might have no table for a little bit, but it's okay. And then the light gets installed Wednesday, which today's Saturday for me, so 4 more days and I'll show you how that looks, and I cannot wait. I feel like now I have a full vision, and I wish I would have just known all this before, but I think I've learned, this is our first home that we've ever bought, so there's gonna be times I'm bound to make a design mistake. so to speak, and think that I know what would look best and then change my mind. So I'm giving myself grace. And I'm really thankful Tanner did too, because I felt awful. I think I felt worse than what the situation was, because I don't like to inconvenience him. He's such a hard worker and he has so much on his plate, and then to be adding these things just felt really silly. So I can't wait to see it finish. But yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching and sticking around and taking the time out of your day to listen to me talk and share about life. I hope that you guys have had an amazing summer so far. I know school's getting ready to start back up. I pray that it was memorable for you, that you made really sweet memories with your family, and I can't wait to come back on here and talk to you all soon and just share more of my life with you, in hopes that it would encourage you that I'm just a normal person relying on God's grace to get me through motherhood, marriage, and just everything in between. So I'll talk to you soon, and if you liked this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe.